Here's Joe again, and welcome back to the Stanley Parable, where... Oh, Stanley Parable 4. Ooh, obviously, very obviously, this is Stanley's big didgeridoo. Doesn't change the title screen? Aww. I had hoped it would switch the title screen to show a didgeridoo. Okay, we still have some stuff to do.
This is the...
With and without the bucket. Let's start. The one thing that I still want to do
All
without
of his
the
co-workers
bucket.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, please. Are you really just doing
I
this for
read
the
the achievement
achievement?
text.
Click
Try
the
to
door
open.
5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth?
Yeah.
No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Oh god. I just read the achievement text and I wanted it. But they're so smug about everything. They are prepared for me. They are playing me. Because they're lying.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417. Don't go past the door 417 on accident. Ah, there.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
A few times.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
415, 10 clicks. You asshole, man. Don't accidentally walk past it.
Now, back to door number 437.
Okay.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting
417.
somewhere.
Is this one.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Oh, we can climb on the... Oh, we can climb on desks?
This is great. You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
That's a new content door. Shit. Can I use this one? That's 416. This one. Oh, shit. Yeah, that achievement is not possible anymore. Can we climb any other desks? I'm 100% that's 416. Like this? Or this? Aha.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure.
Thank you for showing me
and
to
its
climb stuff.
examination
Thank you.
of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
Oh, yes.
Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Oh. No.
Ah, then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected Continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
How long do I have to wait for the automatic reset? Hello? Ooh. Ooh. Ah, that's the closed window I've jumped out of. Hello? Hello? Let's stay still in case it's standing still that activates the end. I need to restart soon, otherwise my headphones will turn off. Because they turn off if there's no noise coming from the game for a while. Okay, let's try that again. Problem is 416, that the 416
All
is
of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
So we did it like
Stanley
this,
decided to go to the meeting room.
and this,
Perhaps he had simply
this.
missed a memo. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes.
Yes.
So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible.
Quite terrible.
And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
Nice. The question is, does it continue or not? Or does it just play music forever? I'm waiting for the loop one more time. Okay, that was the loop. Okay. Same thing with the bucket. That's what I just wrote down on my
All of
thing.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had
The
simply
door's
missed a
always
memo.
open now. Okay.
Stanley cradled
So
the
that
bucket
achievement
in a
is
gentle
unachievable
embrace,
if the door's
protective,
open. Great.
yet delicate, as Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
With bucket.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self. The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps, if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard
that guy
Gambhorata
again.
first ensnared me in his
It's a wizard,
machinations
okay.
as payback for the
Sounded
sacred
like an
amulet I
alien
stole
or
from
a
his treasured vaults.
demon.
I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power. Its
Oh, it
fangs
is
glistening
the-
like...
Thing.
My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
Okay. Okay. Good.
All
I
of
said
his
no
co-workers
bucket
were
ending.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Was trying to go back. I'm trying that on every door now. Just realized that might.
Yet there was
One
not
day
a
be a
single
thing, yeah.
person here
Not like
either.
that.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
Yeah, that's
office,
too
hoping he
fast.
might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Here?
Stepping in...
It works. Okay, that one I didn't look up. Okay. So we still have to do that a second time with the bucket. Everything's open now. He thinks that I'm upstairs and he's going to be smug about his little code pad thingy. Can't go right door. Now 416. It's closed again. We'll do that again with a bucket. 427 isn't open. Let's go here. You are now leaving. Escape pod bay. And can't go down. 6 floors up, it says. Okay. Floor 755. Okay. I'm just trying to look around to see if like every floor looks exactly the same. I'm looking at the numbers. Oh yes, so there is like 1,000 employees per floor. Okay. Good to know. Let's go up to 760 then. Escape pod? Like not helipad or something? Like something normal to be on the top of a skyscraper? No, it's escape pod in the next floor. Also, it's very unsettling that he doesn't talk anymore. 3! That's why we're obsessed with the 3, I think. Can't see shit. And that's the point where we get teleported. Now I can't see shit at all. Can't hear if we... Oh, we were in the loading zone but stuck. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's do that again.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Now the shorter version? No.
Stepping in...
Okay. I couldn't pick up the thingy this time. I'm trying to pick up the thing when we come back, but this could be a different version with no... Oh no, we are in the normal version. We're back in the normal version. We try going for the sheep. Oh, last time there was. I could have picked up the bucket the last time. Why isn't it there? No, not again. I'm not doing the same ending twice.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
It's too long.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
Or
missed
do we
a
need
memo.
to go there twice?
Ah, Stanley's bucket. The only co-worker he would ever truly need.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest
Did we
and entered the
do
door
the
on his
escape
left.
pod ending properly? Or did we have to do it twice in a row?
Still
That's
no
the
one was
question.
here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than
I'm
ever.
always trying to turn
Perhaps
left
his
here.
boss's office
Because
was
I
where
know
he'd
the
find
cargo
answers.
room is
Coming
right
to a
here
staircase,
when I go the
Stanley
other
and the
way.
bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Okay, in and out.
Stepping in,
But with a bucket. Let's take the bucket to the escape pod. That's somehow unsatisfactory, that ending. I think there's another thing to it with maybe going there twice. The worst thing that was that there was the weird and shortened version of this place again, which comes up every now and then. I've had that happen like a few times. Not too many times, but a few times. So let's go to the escape pod. You are now leaving. Escape pod's still in 760. We're in 754. I'm skipping you up to the top floor. And that's the top floor. Last time it reset when we went in here and just continued. Is there a different ending with the bucket? Aha! There is actually an escape pod. Oh, we're letting the bucket escape. Oh, our bucket friend. I did none of the things that I wanted to do. Did I miss something by trying to turn around at everything in the ending before this? Probably yes. Do I want to do it again? The answer is no.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bucket? We sent the bucket to the escape pod. Does that mean that 416 is closed? No. Okay. Whatever. We wanted to do a no bucket place.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Do I skip you through until I do that ending again in case we miss something? The
Yet
answer
there was
is
not
no.
a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase,
Let's do the thing
Stanley
where we
walked
drive up the
upstairs
elevator
to his
after the
boss's
boss
office.
without the bucket, because we only did it with the bucket before.
The moment he entered his manager's
God,
office,
how is the code
Stanley
again?
froze
It's been
in
too
his
long.
tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting
That
into
way?
half moans,
No.
half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety
I tried
isn't
every
healthy, so he
combination.
relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Yeah, we had that all. We just want to rush it. If the
Feeling
endings are
soothed
going fast,
and
we'll be done
rejuvenated,
today.
Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Problem is, this is taking an eternity, the up and down again. I just want to see whether we are able to go up again. If not, then I'm immediately logging out again and starting again with the
Descending
bucket.
deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest,
Yeah, I
as
don't
though
have
he
my
felt
bucket.
more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay, we can. Missed that the first time around.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
I like to confuse him very much. Press the button 3. There's
Here we
something
are,
about-
Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
I just want to try different numbers. One, two, three, four. Ah, whatever. Okay, back to the office. Back down again. Back to the office.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No.
No.
It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
At one point we arrive at a different place. Just with the other one with the press conference about the number 3 and why it's so great to push it all over again. Wait for him to interact.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
That's so great.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
These things are so weird. Like, I know they exist, but their movement is just so weird because of the weird physics going on with like the fluid dynamics and
All right.
the
I
vapor
have
pressure.
fully come to terms with it.
That artwork
I have
there.
made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Now? Okay, now I can continue with the narrative. We drive down and then we drive back up. You ride an
Of
elevator or you
course.
drive it.
Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory
going very much
Stanley's
slower this
decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in
So
a
lots of
landscape
talking.
of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
You get what's coming now?
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator.
That's
But
it.
the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we
Exactly.
take this elevator ride nice and
Yeah, just move the
slow?
elevator again.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know,
It is.
Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces
Yes.
from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This
storytelling,
is
yes.
storytelling, Stanley.
what you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, though I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh,
okay, the same place. We don't need to look this time.
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
So what's the question is, what's it now other than the number 3 that you speak?
Yes, here it is, just through this door. All right, are you ready?
To stage, welcome Stanley. Stanley Ryder, almonds, share, gum, table, nut bar.
And what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm
down
really
again.
Proud of you, Stanley.
As an unforgiving account of ups as well as downs. Highs and lows, isn't that what life's about? Say the reviews? Break a leg, champ. Stanley, my true love for you grows every day. You make me feel alive. Your wife, from the apartment ending. I love the way you ride elevators. No one tells stories the way you do. Go get him, Tiger. Thanks for showing me that cool skateboard trick in the parking lot. You are too cool. Good luck on stage. Rock on. Stanley, me, Dad. Story. Wow. What shocking. This thrilling storytelling. Let's get our Oscar. Oh, there's actually people here. Stanley, Stanley, Stanley. Oh, I don't think I can make that work. It's totally overgrown here. And I think I whited out. Okay. The bucket. Why was there a bucket subline? Replacement bucket. Thank you.
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
Thank you. Where's the story?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, so we go up with
Still
the
no
bucket.
one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I like the replacement bucket thing.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Yes, we know the drill. Only 2 more things to look at, actually, I think. Unless there's something else. Yeah, turning the machine in the mind control facility on and off.
Plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself
There's
together.
no reason to turn around and go the other way, because that wouldn't change the ending. Because it would only be up the lift again and over to the escape route.
The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
So we did do everything, so only these 2 options.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh, the problem was this room was so fucking slow. I think
The
I'll be
lights
skipping it to...
rose
Oh,
on an
we have
enormous room packed with
the bucket
television
with us
screens.
the first time, so I'm not
What
skipping it.
horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Yeah, we wondered.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst
Very
into
nearly.
tears
You can
as
see it.
Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
What thing?
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
That's a good
These
question.
questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Exactly.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Yes, it's what I imagine a bucket to be like. Let's turn it off and do the freedom ending first.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
So freedom ending.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn
That's
to
the
roller
massive door
skate.
they were speaking
Stanley
about.
wanted to sneeze in
Like
every
the last
country
sort
on Earth. Both of them
episode
wanted
also
to
I
begin
said,
watching
what
a
door?
movie,
Yeah.
any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end.
Oh, that's a cool
True,
idea.
it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and to... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility
staying
itself
here.
recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket,
Yes,
would go to any lengths not to part with the
I
bucket.
thought so.
No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has
Obvious.
anything to say about it. Stanley
Obviously.
realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket.
And
To be
that's what
trapped
counts.
eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Okay. And then let's take...
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
New text. Bucket.
Is Stanley, without the bucket, really Stanley at all? No, no,
Definitely
surely
not.
not.
Stanley clutched the bucket
Left.
tightly to his chest and entered
Okay,
the
I'm
door on his
skipping
left.
you to the mind control facility button. And we're at the system power. Let's wait until the helicopter's flown away. Flown. Just fly over. Yeah, somebody needs the ambulance helicopter, but I don't like that it always flies over my house. Okay. System power on. We want to explode again.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the
yes, the bucket
controls.
got pressed.
Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
I can we leave right now? No.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah, I would spend the rest of my life that way if it's clear that I don't die of hunger in the meantime, and just live a happy life as that. Okay, good. So, that is the last ending we're going for because I am out of ideas of stuff to still try. We might have missed one or two like silly side things, but that's for you to discover. So if you want to know more about this, or you think you saw something that I didn't see, get the game and try it. This is really good. But if you watch this, you have either played before or will never play because now it's all worthless. You know everything. Why do you watch stuff? Play the games. Pay the developers for making the games. Don't watch me. Or play it and then watch me to relive how great it was playing it for the first time. Do one of those things. Whatever. Stanley Parable was good. No idea what we're playing tomorrow. Maybe Inscription. Inscription's on the list. Then we get both the silly games that are on my list directly out of the way, one after another. And after Inscription, it will be back to like Souls-like and Metroidvania content. So probably Inscription tomorrow. Have a nice day and see you with that.